About the world, about themselves. Mohammed Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Mohammed Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Mohammed Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day, German in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path. Father those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Sister Nubala Lavan. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. We have Brother Wakil Muhammad from Atlanta. And we have Sister Barbara from Mississippi. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today, we like to talk about the Israelites did not teach Malcolm the Bible. Now, this one is one that I'm going to enjoy, because I've been wanting to talk about this one for a long time. But I didn't know who this. First, when I heard Bishop say that they taught Malcolm the scriptures, they said it was this person named Yaquab. So I was trying to find, like, who is, I never heard of these people that they talking about. I never heard of Yaquab. So I'm going through the history, I couldn't find nothing about him, nothing at all. So the most recent one, not too long ago, he said that a brother named Abba Bivens used to teach Malcolm in New York the scripture. So I went to go find something on this brother. Now, I couldn't find nothing in like newspapers.com about this brother. The only place I could find something about him is what Israelites say about him, and it's this white Christian apologist. He talked more about them than they do. He talked for an hour because he's an apologist against the Israelites. So I said, since I don't know nothing about this person, I'm going to just use what Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel say about this brother. Let's just take what he said. Now, in this video is Bishop Nathaniel. It's called The History of the Israelite Schools. And this one is this one. This him talking about this Abba Bivens brother. Now, according to him, he said that this brother Abba Bivens, he starts his history in 1960. So we're going to start with the messenger in 1956. We're going to get a comfortable lead because we can start in 1930, but we don't have to. So we're going to start in 1956 with the messenger. So Bishop Nathaniel said that Abba Bivens found out he was an Israelite. from some slaves, some ex-slaves or something. So he said that Abba Bivens in 1960 joined a group called the Commandment Keepers. Now let's start with the messenger in the July 21st, 1956 Pittsburgh Carrier. Because what's beautiful about 1956 is that Malcolm X was not known at all. And this is the thing that Bus Stop Bishop and the rest of the people use to their advantage. Everybody believe that Malcolm X is who put the Nation of Islam on the map. So if they make they believers think that they taught Malcolm the scriptures and all that success of the Nation of Islam, it's not because of the message, it's because of them. Because Bus Stop Bishop is not the first to use Malcolm. John Henry Clark, he used to say the same thing Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel say. The Orthodox Muslims say the same thing that Bus Stop Bishop say. John Henry Clark, it's an interview with him. He said he met Malcolm X in 1958 in New York. He said that Malcolm X was teaching something way above Elijah Muhammad's head. The messenger ain't know what he was talking about. Malcolm used to say, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, but he was getting it from John Henry Clark. John Henry Clark said that he saw Malcolm X from 1958 until his death, he said, every day. So now we got John Henry Clark. We got Bus Stop Bishop man Abba Bivens. We got the Orthodox Muslims and they people they be talking about, plus the message for Malcolm X. All these people talk. Bus Stop Bishop man was teaching them. Then he went to go see John Henry Clark. Then he talked to the Orthodox Muslim. Then he seen what Elijah Muhammad wanted to say. So let's start in 1956 with the message. This comes from the letter to the editor. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad started writing his articles in the Pittsburgh Carrier in June 9th of 1956. The next month, Pittsburgh Carrier put Atlanta readers go for Mr. Muhammad. Because when the messenger started teaching Islam, he didn't just teach Malcolm. He taught the black man. We have the documented history of the messenger teaching the Bible or the scriptures, as Bus Stop say, to the black man. And we have the black man's reaction to the messenger's teachings. Yes, but when Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel talking about Abba Bivens, we don't have nothing documented about him and the reaction of black people when he taught them. We don't have no pictures of him with Malcolm. We don't have Malcolm ever saying his name. None of that. It's just what Bus Stop Bishop say. So this Pittsburgh Carrier, which was a few weeks after the messenger started writing his article, it says Atlanta readers go for Mr. Muhammad. One of the, because we don't have time to read everything. One of the people said, he is what people need. It says, since many of my friends have spoken to me about the man, Mr. Muhammad, and most of the college students around Atlanta seem to like his articles on the Negro or so-called Negro. He got that in the parentheses because he been reading the messenger's article. And he said most of the students around Atlanta. Because in Atlanta, Georgia, you got Morehouse, you got Spelman, you got Clark, you got Atlanta University. You got all kind of universities and community colleges in Atlanta. So the Pittsburgh Carrier noticed the whole city of Atlanta started going for the messenger when he started putting his teachings in the Pittsburgh Carrier. So it goes on to say, it says, most of the college students around Atlanta seem to like his articles on the Negro or the so-called Negro. We think you should let us hear more about him and Islam. The truth is there. I know I know it for a fact. But tell us, where is he? And can we learn about his life story? He is what the people need. So then we got another one. It says the best he has ever read. It says, while reading your paper, I ran across Mr. Muhammad Speaks. It is the best thing that I have ever heard or read anywhere. Please give us more of the same. The people need something like that. So then it's another one. It says it says Muhammad is front page news. It says, just who is this Mr. Muhammad that stands so boldly telling all black people that we are one and should come together? We need some more like him in our corner. Please make it possible for us to learn more about Mr. Muhammad. He should be on the front page because he's for us. I wait for next week's edition. Praise due to Allah. These is the people who the messenger just put his article in the paper for like 4 weeks. They already noticed, like, look at all these people from Atlanta writing in to us about Mr. Muhammad. So they say, Atlanta goes for Muhammad. Then we can go to the next week. This one was the July 21st, 1956. This one is July 28th, 1956. This one says nationwide interest in Mr. Muhammad. We want to ask you, where was old Abba Bivens in 1956? And another thing about Abba Bivens, that Bishop Nathaniel, because I don't know nothing about him. I was just listening, trying to find something on this person so I can find some history. So I'm listening to Bus Stop Bishop. Bus Stop Bishop said that Abba Bivens was in New York because they patterned themselves after Abba Bivens. Abba Bivens was in New York trying to play them games with them Elijah Muhammad Muslims that Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel playing with Farrakhan. So he said that Abba Bivens got into a fight with some Muslims. That's all I'm going to say. You read the history. But I'm going to say, like I say every week, you can like Lewis, this hypocrite, in his cream puff nation of Islam all you want. But whether you go to the Muhammad Speaks, whether you go to newspapers.com or you listen to these no-name people we ain't never heard of in our life, the history stays consistent with the messenger. Lewis can play them games. Wesley Muhammad can play them games. All the messenger said, listen to it with him. Because I don't want to take this off and start talking about that. I want to talk about this thing they talking about. He taught the Malcolm X the scriptures. So this is nationwide interest in Mr. Muhammad. One of them says, open her eyes, because we can't read them all. It says, let me thank you for the column Mr. Muhammad Speaks. It has opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I'm sure many others have received information about the white man. Then it's another. It says, await next edition. It says, my friends have shown me an article in the Carrier about Mr. Muhammad that is very interesting. And all of us are waiting for the next edition. Keep up the good work, because it is good to know that someone is thinking about us Negroes. May God bless you. And this from a person named Donald Bloodshaw from Atlanta. When you read these articles, black people was not used to black leaders speaking up for black people. Telling them that the white race is a race of devils. Telling them that the black man is the original man. Telling the black man we are named in the New Testament. Because this is where Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel. I didn't bring the actual video. But it's a video, the first one I ever heard to hear bus stop Bishop say that they taught Malcolm the scripture. To see how fake bus stop Bishop is, plus all of them brothers that's with him. The name of the video is called The Prophets Break Down Malcolm X Movie. It's when that Who Killed Malcolm X came out. So they in there, these fakes, trying to sound sciencing about Malcolm and the nation. And they had them brothers was jealous of Malcolm because he was the one who made the nation known. And really, it was Yaquab who was teaching Malcolm in New York. It was really him. This is what they talking about. So they play this video to show you how them Muslims would have crushed bus stop Bishop. He play a video of Malcolm X in a public rally reading the Messenger's article. But bus stop Bishop, he don't even know the history of Malcolm. He don't know. Let's just talk some history. You can go to YouTube and look at Malcolm's public rallies. When you listen to him over the microphone, you don't see. Behind Malcolm X, it would say, read Muhammad Speaks newspaper. This would bus stop Bishop and the rest of these fakes never tell you about the Messenger. The Messenger put his teachings on the map before Malcolm was known. We about to show that with these 1950s when Malcolm wasn't even known. The Messenger put his teachings on the map. So when he told brothers to say something, he told them all to say the same thing. Yes. You can also go, it's John Ali. No, not John Ali, but John Shabazz in Los Angeles. He on NOIWC. Go listen. He said this lecture today was actually scheduled to be taught last week. He said that the lecture that he was speaking on was scheduled in Chicago to be spoken on last week, but something came up. So these lectures are scheduled lectures. Yeah. Every minister in the Nation of Islam is scheduled to teach the same thing. Because the Messenger telling them what he wants the black man to know. That's right. So Malcolm X, he have read Muhammad Speaks behind him. Sometimes it say, subscribe to Muhammad Speaks. Sometimes Malcolm would have a picture of holding up an actual copy of the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Because what he's saying is the same thing that's in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. So bus stop Bishop and these fakes is listening to Malcolm talk about what the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. The Messenger wrote that article in 1962. This was a rally that Malcolm was having in New York, and the Messenger was having another meeting at McCormick Place in Chicago. So when you get the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, it's a picture of Malcolm X at the actual rally holding up the paper. But the bus stops don't know that. They don't know that behind Malcolm it say, read Muhammad Speaks. They don't know that he holding up the paper he reading it from. And they don't know that what he's reading is on the back of every Muhammad Speaks newspaper. That's how bus stop Bishop, when he not challenged, he could just say that. He can, and when you go listen to that, Malcolm reading word for word. But the part that they like is when Malcolm started talking about the lost sheep. Just like John Henry Clark. He used to take all that stuff Malcolm would say on Africa, play that for his people and say, I taught him that. He used to come in New York and Elijah Muhammad ain't know nothing about Africa like Malcolm knew because I was giving him information. That's what bus stop Bishop do. Instead of separating all of the Africa stuff, he separate all the lost sheep stuff, Malcolm say. See, Abba Bivens taught him that. The Orthodox Muslims, they separate, they say in 1954, they say that Malcolm first got exposure to Orthodox Islam when they had the Bandung Conference. he started seeing all these Muslims, and he started questioning the teachings of the messenger. Then when he went to Arabia in 1959, they named the person. He met some Orthodox Muslim who was supposed to be changing his. Everybody tried to steal Malcolm. All the fakes try to say it wasn't Elijah, even though we got pictures of Malcolm with the messenger. He say the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. He tell everybody, I got it all from him.
That's right.
But he didn't get it from him. He really got it from Abba Bivens and John Henry Clark and these Orthodox people. He never said their name. We don't have no pictures of him with them. But let's keep going. So what was the messenger writing in the paper that caused the stir with the black man? This one comes from the July 7th, 1956 Pittsburgh Carrier. It's called Holy Quran and Bible. Because what Bus Stop Bishop and the rest of these fakes do, they always be talking about show us one prophecy in the Quran. That's what they do to all Muslims when they talking to them on the street. Because the messenger taught us why he teaches us the Bible so much. It's not that the black man is not talked about in the Quran. The black man is talked about just as much in the Holy Quran as we're talked about in the Bible. The messenger says the black man is buried in the Bible. We don't know nothing about the Bible. When I was a lost found and I heard the messenger, I already heard about Lazarus. I knew about Peter and Paul. So if the messenger want to get to me, if he start talking about Luke mine, I don't know nothing about Luke mine. So the messenger would break down the Holy Quran, but he would break the Bible down too. To give a black man the understanding of Bible and Holy Quran. Because the black man is the chosen people in the Bible. The black man is the chosen people in the Holy Quran. But the Jew and the Arab think it's them. The no good blue-eyed Jew think that the Bible talking about him when it's talking about God's chosen people. The Arab think it's talking about him when it says that Muhammad is the last messenger of Allah. They think it's them. So the messenger in 1956 is teaching the black man Holy Quran and Bible. So the messenger says, he says, we the so-called American Negroes are mentioned in the New Testament under several names and parables. I will name two: the parable of the lost sheep and the prodigal son. Luke 15, 1 through 11, of which we could not be described better under or in a parable. He says, before the coming of Allah, we being blind, deaf, and dumb, had mistaken the true meanings of these parables to be referring to the Jews. This the messenger. See, Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel is so sloppy on his head. He don't know the history of the messenger, nor do he know the history of Malcolm X. He don't know that the messenger spoke against Israel. The messenger spoke against Jews and Hebrews. So at Malcolm X, and let's just go on again with how the setup was with Malcolm. He would have Read Muhammad Speaks on behind him. Sometime he would be holding up a Muhammad Speaks newspaper plus the main thing. Malcolm would have people sitting on stage with him. Now, if you ain't in the Nation of Islam, you don't know who these brothers is unless somebody point them out to you. You always saw in these public rallies with Malcolm, you would see James Shabazz sitting right next to him. You would see Farrakhan. You would see Jeremiah. These James Shabazz from Newark, New Jersey. Farrakhan from Boston. So why they gotta come with Malcolm to a rally? Because they ministers too. They know what Malcolm's supposed to be talking about. So I'm sitting here listening to Malcolm. Let's say for the argument, Malcolm started talking some talk he done heard from Abba Bivens. Abba Bivens done pulled him to the side. He started talking some stuff that all of us know he ain't, because as soon as he started talking sympathetic for Jews, talking about we the true Jew, talking about it, you hear Malcolm? I'm calling the message. I'm calling the message on Big Bad Malcolm X. Then it's another one that I like. I was going to bring it in, but I can't bring everything. Malcolm X talking. It's this brother that was standing behind Malcolm X. He's standing posty looking around. You see him taking pictures of the crowd. Then he come and he adjusts Malcolm's mic. Then he go back. We watching you, we listening to you and all. Let them know. You better be saying it. It was another brother that came and slid him a note. I'm going to bring that next week. This one lecture. You had Read Muhammad Speaks. You should have saw how Brother James was looking at him the whole time. He laughed, ha, ha, ha. Whole meeting, just looking at him. Then when they pan out Farrakhan right there, then they have another one where they all stand, they all lined up. But if you're not a Muslim, you don't know them ministers for the man listening to him. Right. So, if Malcolm would have learned anything from old Abba Bivens, and he would have had been saying that around them loyal, dear holy apostle, we was in New York rally today and we heard him say, we the truth. Did you teach him that, dear holy apostle, to say that? Because you ain't telling us to say it. That's how it would have went. So the messenger is teaching us that we used to believe that salvation was of the Jews. But the messenger telling us the lost sheep is the black man. That's right. Not the black Jew. Not the black Muslim. Not the black, but the black man. And this is what Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel and Abba Bivens started copying from the messenger. Because let's talk about this group that Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel said that Abba Bivens went to. Because he said in this video, he said in 1960, Abba Bivens joined a group called the Commandment Keepers. So he joined them in 1960. The Commandment Keepers rejected the New Testament, so they wasn't talking about Lazarus. They wasn't talking about the prodigal son. They wasn't talking about the lost sheep. All this stuff Bus Stop Bishop talking about, Abba Bivens taught Malcolm. The messenger talking about the lost sheep in 1956. Abba Bivens joins a group 4 years later that reject the whole New Testament. So, did Malcolm teach Abba Bivens or did Abba Bivens teach Malcolm? Yes, sir. And if Abba Bivens, the question I want to ask Bus Stop, because everybody, when you get the video, like and share. Like the people say, share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with everybody you know. Because my question to Bus Stop Bishop, why would Abba Bivens teach Malcolm X instead of teaching Rabbi Matthews? Right. Why he teach Malcolm X? Rabbi Matthews ain't know what he was talking about. Let's go to Rabbi Matthews. This comes from the New York Age. This one of the papers the messenger was writing in. Because he wrote in the Pittsburgh Carrier getting national attention from the black man. One paper. This another paper he was writing in called the New York Age. The New York Age was a black newspaper out of New York. They wrote an article on Rabbi Matthews and these commandment keepers in 1958. 2 years before Abba went to join them. 2 years before. This what Rabbi Matthews said. It said in the section of the article, it says admits error, because this is part 3. They got like 6 or 7 parts they writing about these Jews. So he just explained in the earlier paragraph about some Jew he got into, some white Jew he got in an argument and him and the Jew made up. So then he goes on to say, he says, however, a majority of Jews have always been in brotherly sympathy with us and without reservation either. It says, seek united front. He says, let me take time here to commend Rabbi Irvin Block for his untiring effort in trying to close the breach, if it can be termed a breach, between white and black Jews, and to preserve a united front with a mutual understanding and purpose. This 2 years before Abba Bivens even joined these brothers. He talking about a united front with the white man, with the white Jew. And this is why Bus Stop Bishop and the rest of these fakes. Because to give you the history of Bus Stop Bishop and the rest of these fakes, the young black Jews, when the messenger started making black beautiful to the black man, the young black Jews like Bus Stop Bishop and Abba Bivens was tired of all of that bootlicking from Rabbi Matthews. So the young Jews did what Abba Bivens did, what Bus Stop Bishop did, what Ben Ami, all of them left the black Jew stuff. They left the black Jew stuff and started to tailor the teachings of the messenger to that garbage. Yes, sir. That's what they did. That's what they did. Praise due to Allah. And let me speak about Ben Ami, because I got a lot of respect for Ben Ami. Ben Ami ain't like Bus Stop Bishop at all. And I want to make that distinction today. Because before I knew where Muhammad's temple was, the brothers, the Israelite brothers in Atlanta told me where to go. I used to go, Ben Ami have in Atlanta, Georgia on the west end. He got a restaurant called Soul Vegetarian. When I was first being exposed to Islam, I used to go there too. I used to go to their meetings. They had a bookstore called the Wisdom Hut. I would go in the Wisdom Hut and talk to this brother so much that when the Israelite brothers would come, they'd give me the cheek to cheek. Word is bond to Allah, but they do the cheek to cheek different from us. It's a different way, but it's the same. Oh, brother Shalom, and give me the cheek to cheek. I used to be in with this brother talking for hours. He never disrespected the messenger at all. So I asked the brother, I said, so where do Muslims be? Because I was new to Atlanta. He threw a little shade. But it was natural shade that anybody gonna throw when you trying to fish somebody. He was trying to let me know, we the Israelites and but he didn't he just threw a little shade to let we better than that. Which I understood. I knew he was gonna do that, but I wanted to know where the Muslims at. So he threw a little shade, but he said they be down there on such and such and so and so. Temple meeting start here, brother so and so on the Israelite brother. He wasn't like Bus Stop. Ben Ami showed the messenger respect. And I respect Ben Ami for that. I was around them brothers. They never disrespected. It was always love until Bus Stop Bishop came on the scene. So let's go even further with Rabbi. He said he want to have a united front with the Jew. So now here he go. The next week in part 4. This one was part 3, this one part 4. He said, I may explain at this point that all of our ceremonies are in accord with the way all people of the house of Israel carry them out. All people. Because Bus Stop Bishop Nathaniel, he tried to make the Jew stuff a race. We don't have time to deal with it, but he be misquoting J.A. Rogers' book called Nature Knows No Color Line. because J. Rogers throw them a bone with these no good Jews. But Bus Stop Bishop try to make Jews a race. No Jews ever said that before this new era of Jews. They felt like it was white Jews too. A Jew was a Jew. Jew was a religion before Bus Stop Bishop and them. It was just a religion. They would say that the black man was the first Jew. All that meant we the first ones to practice Judaism. Judaism is God's religion. Black man was the first. They weren't saying that just because you black, you special. Just because you black, God chose you. No, we was the first Jews, but they white Jews too. So this is what he says. He goes on to say. He says, I may explain at this point that all of our ceremonies are in accord with the way all people of the house of Israel carry them out. We have but one aim and purpose, and that is to do all in our power to bring about a full cooperation among all Israel, white or black, and the acknowledgement of the oneness of God and the brotherhood of all men. This before they start stealing. Now, this is 2 years before Abba Bivens joined them. He talking about our whole purpose is to bridge the gap between white Israel and black Israel. Rabbi Matthews, he used to say, we don't go out to convert. A Jew is a Jew if he born Jewish. And that's why the whole civil rights movement, you had the Black Panther Party, you had the Republic of New Africa, you had the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, you had CORE, you had the Nation of Islam, you had Pan-Africanist groups. Where was the Jews? When you see a picture of a civil rights leader or a Panther or the Messenger or anybody with a Jew, they didn't participate in the black man's struggle in America. They felt like, I'm a Jew. I'm worried about what's going on in Israel. They would move their flock out of the ghetto because they said they did not want them to assimilate with the black man. And this is why Bus Stop Bishop, Abba Bivens, Ben Ami, and all the rest of them left. Because they want to start talking black. They want to start stealing the messenger's teachings and adding it to the garbage. Now let's go to the messenger. Now this is June 7th, 1958, New York Age. What was the messenger doing in the New York Age? Or this the Pittsburgh Carrier. This July 19th, 1958. It says, Mr. Muhammad calls for united front of black men. Out of all praises due to where Abba Bivens at? When 2 years before, Abba Bivens even joined Rabbi. Rabbi talking about he wanted a united front with the Jews, black or white. The oneness of God and the oneness of the brotherhood of man. Messenger say, I want in New York a united front of black men. Yes, sir. It says at New York City's rally. It's so much I want to say, but I'm going to wrap this up with this Alex Haley. Because the thing that you will find when you do the history on the messenger, from 1960 on down to 1930, they didn't talk about Malcolm. The one thing you got to understand is that Mike Wallace, in The Hate That Hate Produced, introduced Malcolm X to America. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had black America sold up. Because I was listening to Jeremiah talk about the hate that hate produced. Because Jeremiah give a lot of good history when you just go listen to him talk. He just talk about a lot of different random things. So there's one time he was talking about the hate that hate produced. He said the messenger didn't want to do the hate that hate produced. He said the messenger felt like we already established with the black man. I'm writing in every black newspaper in the country. I go to New York, 15,000 people come. I go to Washington, 10,000. I go to Chicago. I go to Detroit. People come and selling it out. Why we got to do something with Mike Wallace and CBS? We already got it on lock. But Jeremiah said Malcolm wanted to do it. So he said the messenger would take on suggestions from his followers. So he said, hey, why not? Okay, let's do it. Let's try it. So when the white man saw the success of the messenger, then they saw Malcolm X was articulate. Then they began to put Malcolm X against the messenger. Because them old newspapers that the messenger was writing in, you can't find them now. Unless you just a historian and you go research. But all that Malcolm X stuff is everywhere. It's all on YouTube. Everybody be talking about, well, when Malcolm joined the Nation of Islam, it was only 4 temples. That ain't how they used to talk about the messenger here. Let's talk or go with Alex Haley. This was the March 1960 Reader's Digest. This would put Alex Haley on the map. It says, as another Negro and I walked down the main hall of New York City Public Library, a third, a stranger, joined us. So he walking down with another brother in the library. Another stranger just walk up on him. So then he said, this is what the stranger did. He apologized. He said, I couldn't help overhear that you were discussing Mr. Muhammad. He said, it seems that whenever I notice 2 of us talking, he's the subject. This was a black man in New York. When they at the library, they ain't even know where Malcolm them at. They just in the library talking about the messenger. We about to do this thing on Mr. Muhammad, and he talking, ain't paying this. This brother see him like, yo, excuse me. I just overheard y'all talking about, I noticed that every time 2 of us talking, he the subject. Where Abba Bivens? This 1960 when Abba Bivens joined the commandment keepers. The same ones want brotherhood with the white man. So it goes on even further. Alex Haley said, I had recently arrived from San Francisco. There too, Negroes was talking about the small light brown man who calls himself Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah. Because the white media knew nothing about the messenger. They ain't know nothing about Malcolm, but the messenger was popping with the black man. That's right. When the white man started sending his imps, because another thing the messenger did, he had it popping so much, he told the white man how he want to be interviewed. I don't want no devils to come interview me. Send a black man. And that's why when you get the early history of the messenger, it's the books that's written black people, interviews black people. He put black people on the map. That's right. Because he would not let the white man come in. So let's keep on going with the message. It says he has established over 50 temples of Islam and numerous smaller missions that operate in rented quarters or private homes in 27 states, north and south, and coast to coast. Yes, he has. But bus stop Bishop Nathaniel don't know the history. He think that Malcolm put the messenger's teachings on the map when it was the message. So even if he did, if Abba Bivens, that what difference that make? What you need to show us who taught the message. That's who you, don't tell us, okay, just for the sake of argument, y'all taught Malcolm. The messenger put his teachings on the map. When Malcolm was speaking for the map, he said what the messenger, he ain't say, Abba Bivens taught me. Everything Malcolm said. The messenger used to have them sending in tapes of their lectures to Chicago. Right. Something else bus stop don't know. So if you said anything the messenger didn't tell you to say, he would know about it. So let's go on even further. The article goes on to say, it talks about the messenger at St. Nicholas Arena. This was a brother talking about it. He says, when I went to hear Mr. Muhammad, New York's 5,000 seat St. Nicholas Arena was packed. The floor was lined with standees. So the messenger got 5,000 people in their seats. Then he got people standing up all around the walls. Then the brother said, 1,000 of the faithful were in the basement. The messenger couldn't even let the believers sit in the auditorium. They had to go in the basement. That's where Abba Bivens at? Some Abba Bivens. They be coming up with these no-name people. Abba Bivens is the bus stop bishop in the, I ain't know. And if anybody who watch my lecture know how much I love history, all I bring it, where this Abba Bivens person at? If he taught Malcolm, who else did he teach? Who else was affected by the teachings of Abba Bivens? Right. So let's go on even further. Now this right here, we jumping around. This right here is when the messenger went to St. Nicholas Arena. It was in the New York Age. This how many people came to the meeting. It says police reported 10,000 attended the meeting. Now only 5,000 people can sit inside, but 10,000 people came. So it goes on to say, they estimated 6,100 were in the arena and 3,500 outside. So you got 5,000 people sitting down, 100 people standing around, then 1,000 Muslims just in the basement just listening however they can listen. Then you got 3,500 outside. Then it goes on to say, it show a picture of the barricade that the police had. It says some 10,000 Muslims and guests attended rally given by order at St. Nicholas Arena. Largest portion of the gigantic crowd was unable to get into the arena. The largest portion of the crowd couldn't even get in. So then it goes on to say, it says to get into the arena, causing police to set up barricades outside. The barricades had to be moved further into the street twice to accommodate the throng attending rally. So it's already busting out the seams. The devil got the barricade already in the street. So they got to move it twice further and further into the street because of all of the people that came. That was the message. Now let's go on with what they saying about the meeting. This is the Reader's Digest with Alex Haley talking about the meeting. He says afterwards, Muhammad's words were discussed throughout Harlem, in apartments, along the sidewalk, in taverns and restaurants. He says, but for every antagonist, at least 3 defended Muhammad. So for every one bus stop bishop, you got 3, and that's why it's so much history on the messenger. Let's just keep on going. It says, but for every antagonist, at least 3 defended Muhammad. For example, a woman. Now, I've been selling papers my whole life. Not my whole life, but since I've been a Muslim. If you get a sister who gonna defend, they like what they hear. Most of the, you don't hear sister, most of the time it's brothers. Sister support, sister buy, but not hardly as much as brothers. But when Alex Haley was going through New York, he says, for example, a woman in a beauty parlor said, Muhammad just talks facts, and white people call it hate. Negroes already got plenty to hate. He's just bringing it out. If they want to stop Muhammad, the quickest way is to stop foul buses. I don't know what that meant, but that's what she said. She agreeing with the messenger. Then it goes on and first said, it's got to go further than that. Said another. Integrated schools, what have you got? Graduation day, white kids go in one direction and blacks another. They know better than to ask for the jobs the white kids get. The Constitution says that the same thing for all citizens. It just twisted when it's us. So these people love the message. He said that when he was in New York, big bad Malcolm X shit. And then when you read about St. Nicholas, this is how the messenger had the black man on lock. He came to Nicholas Arena one week. He had a dinner the day before. People coming to that. He had the meeting. Then he came back again and had the meeting again. Both times the meeting was free. There's so much history I want to talk about. Because these fakes, let me wrap it up just with my favorite talk. He said that Abba Bivens was in New York talking that same kind of talk bus stop be talking. Muslims didn't, whatever he was saying, Muslims didn't like it. So they got into a fight. From what he said, and I ain't gonna go no further. Let you listen to him. I don't want people to think I just talk about fighting all the time. But just listen to him. So Minister Farrakhan, he befriends Ben Ami in 1978. In order for him to befriend Ben Ami, he got to change the teachings of the messenger and the FOI. Because if he didn't, Muslims will be in constant conflict with the Israelites. That's just the facts. When them brothers heard Abba Bivens, they fought him. They wasn't talking my black brother stuff, Lewis. They would have been in a constant conflict. He know that too. He know Farrakhan changed it. He know that Farrakhan told them brothers not to do nothing to him. So that's why with him, the disrespect has reached an all-time high.
Yes, sir.
The Nation of Islam been around for 92 years. I'm going to end on this one. One of these fakes, his name is Deacon ASAP or something like that. He said the Nation of Islam is in a decline because Geno Jennings asked them, why y'all don't never surround a mosque? Where the Muslims at? So ASAP, he said, the Nation of Islam is on a decline. We don't even see them brothers out in the street when we there. And when we do see them, they don't know nothing. He don't even know. The only reason why y'all exist is because Louis Farrakhan changed the Nation of Islam.
That's right, brother.
Every time I talk about bus stop bishop, I'm bringing that fact up to everybody who listens to us. Louis Farrakhan was in New York when Abba Bivens was in New York. He knew what them brothers did. So he knew for him to be friends with the Israelites, for him to be friends with Father Flagler, for him to be friends with Scientology, he got to change the FOI.
Yes, sir.
Because when you talking about, he ain't special to FOI. He just another believer.
That's right.
When you following the teachings of we all brothers and sisters. That's why the message say, brother minister,
That's right.
brother secretary,
Yes, sir.
brother captain.
Yes, sir.
That's what he know. He know that them FOI was watching him. He said, and this is my last point, Farrakhan was going in 1970 or 71. They was having a black solidarity meeting in Atlanta, Georgia. He said he didn't want to teach what the messenger taught him, but he didn't say nothing. He said the messenger was telling him what to say. So he said that when he got to the meeting, the messenger had the minister in Atlanta, Abdul Rahman, sitting in the crowd. He told Abdul Rahman what he told Farrakhan to say. He told him, you go sit and listen to him. And you tell me if he said what I told him to say. That was the message. That's what this hypocrite know. When you got everybody kept in check. When you talking about the teaching, ain't no special big eyes. He would get checked. When that hypocrite on there talking about the messenger, What you talking about, brother? We will respect him. What you mean the messenger didn't know how to say Farad when the brothers is together? What you talking about? Don't you ever say that again. Right. He know how I get down. That's why he changed to Israel Malcolm. Yeah. He know how them brothers was listening to Malcolm. And they try to make you think. Brothers was watching Malcolm like everybody watched. They told the messenger when they saw Malcolm starting to get out of line. And that's what they don't like. The messenger had an army. Brothers, there's so much I want to say. But for the sake of time, I leave you as I came in the nation of Islam, greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, soul master's day of judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is to be served, worship or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves, and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.
What the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.